where pop star Aaron Carter has died at the age of 34.
Yeah, the troubled performer grew up in the limelight, but he was in and out of rehab several times in his short life.
Well, it's a cold case. It's been lingering for 27 years.
The walls are closing in fast, and just when you thought this scandal couldn't get any messier, it takes a shocking new turn. The clock is ticking for Sean Diddy Combs. His defense team is now racing against time to meet a court deadline, one that demands an explanation of how Diddy has allegedly been communicating from behind bars. Yes, you heard that right. But wait, there's more. Things go from shocking to utterly jaw-dropping as a former associate steps forward, testifying before a federal grand jury. Their claims? Explosive evidence tied to Diddy's infamous private gatherings. If you thought this was outrageous, brace yourself, because this is just the beginning. What we're about to uncover will leave you speechless. Buckle up, because the revelations only get darker from here.
Thought Diddy would be throwing all his celebrity mates under the bus.
I mean, that could potentially be coming when it's time for court and when it's time for him to testify. But what we're seeing right now is how important public relations really are to Sean Combs. He's desperately trying to control the narrative behind bars, allowing his attorneys to...
First things first, let's dive into the latest bombshell that's got everyone talking. Picture this. Diddy's own legal powerhouse, the man who's been standing by his side for months, has reportedly thrown in the towel. That's right, his top-tier attorney has allegedly walked away from the case mid-trial. Can you imagine the chaos happening behind the scenes? This isn't some rookie lawyer fresh out of law school. We're talking about a legal veteran with decades of experience. And yet, even he seems to have had enough. Rumor has it, the lawyer lost faith, not just in the case, but in Diddy himself. If your own defense team is jumping ship, what does that say about the strength of your case?
What his team is trying to do is get the public to assume that the government is leaking some of this negative information about him, like that Cassie video. But the reality is, he's got a lot of enemies, and who I really don't believe.
As Diddy's legal team crumbles, the hits just keep on coming. A leaked prison call recording has set the internet ablaze, and it's making Diddy look even worse. In the recording, a voice alleged to be his is heard instructing one of his sons to get rid of all the pizza boxes. Now, let's pause for a moment. What could that possibly mean? Is it some sort of code? Was he trying to hide evidence? The cryptic message has sparked wild speculation, raising more questions than answers. Whatever Diddy's intentions were, this move has backfired spectacularly. Instead of quelling the chatter, the leak has only poured gasoline on the fire. And as if that weren't enough, the evidence just keeps piling up. Prosecutors recently revealed findings from a search of Diddy's home that are almost too outrageous to believe. Here's what they claim to have discovered: firearms with scratched-off serial numbers, a massive stockpile of personal products, over 1,000 bottles, raising eyebrows everywhere, and most shocking of all, recordings from Diddy's private events, allegedly featuring multiple individuals in highly questionable situations. Prosecutors argue that these recordings are key to building their case against him. With every new piece of evidence, the once revered music icon's reputation grows darker and more tarnished. So, the question remains, how deep does this go?
Just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time.
But here's where things take an even wilder turn. While Diddy's legal troubles are piling up, the prosecution seems more confident than ever. In fact, the accuser's lawyer has made a bold claim. Diddy's chances of avoiding a life sentence are slim to none. And honestly, given the avalanche of evidence stacking up, it's hard to argue with them. The lawyer's confidence is rooted in what they've described as an unprecedented amount of corroboration from witnesses, recordings, and the items seized during investigations. They've even gone so far as to say that Diddy's wealth and influence won't be enough to save him this time. It's a bold statement, no doubt, but with everything that's come to light so far, it might not be far from the truth.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
Let's circle back to that leaked prison call for a moment, because it's too explosive to ignore. The recording allegedly captures Diddy advising his son to get rid of the pizza boxes. While the exact meaning remains unclear, speculation is running wild. Could pizza boxes be code for physical evidence that ties him to these allegations? Or is it a metaphor for something far more incriminating? The very fact that this call was leaked suggests that Diddy's every move is under intense surveillance, and it's not helping his case. The internet has erupted in a frenzy, with fans, critics, and even legal experts dissecting what this cryptic statement could mean. Some are calling it the smoking gun that could seal his fate, while others see it as just another piece in an increasingly messy puzzle. But here's the kicker. This isn't just about Diddy anymore. The leaked call and mounting evidence have opened the floodgates. Witnesses who once stayed silent are now stepping forward, sharing stories that only deepen the allegations. On top of that, digital evidence is starting to come into play. One former associate has testified before a grand jury, claiming to possess flash drives filled with recordings from Diddy's infamous private gatherings. These recordings allegedly feature high-profile individuals and could expose an entire network of questionable activities. If this evidence is as damning as it sounds, it could very well be the final nail in the coffin for Diddy's defense.
We're not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case.
And speaking of Diddy's defense, let's talk about the man who just walked away, Mark Agnifilo. Agnifilo, Diddy's now former lawyer, is no lightweight. With over 30 years of experience and a track record that includes defending some of the biggest names in corporate and criminal law, he's the kind of attorney you want in your corner when the stakes are sky high. So, why would someone of his caliber abandon ship? Sources close to the case suggest that Agnifilo saw the writing on the wall. Between the overwhelming evidence, the leaked recordings, and the damning testimony, it seems even he couldn't chart a path forward. And honestly, can you blame him? When your client is facing accusations this serious, and the evidence against them keeps piling up, there's only so much even the best lawyer can do.
You said we are not done and that Combs did not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
Diddy is now scrambling to find new representation, and insiders say it's not going well. With his reputation in shambles and the case against him growing stronger by the day, securing a top-tier lawyer has become an increasingly difficult task. Mark Agnifilo's departure has only added to the chaos, leaving Diddy in a dire position. Without a strong legal team, his chances of mounting a successful defense are looking slimmer by the minute. It's a precarious situation that seems to grow worse with each passing day, and the clock is ticking.
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the shoe have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there.
At this point, it's hard to imagine how he could possibly bounce back. The evidence is overwhelming, witnesses are speaking out, and even his own legal team appears to be abandoning him. And let's not overlook the public perception. Once celebrated as a music pioneer and cultural icon, Diddy's reputation has taken a devastating hit. Fans who once idolized him are now questioning everything they thought they knew. The court of public opinion? It's turning against him fast, and in a big way. This is nothing short of a dramatic fall from grace, and the saga is far from over. In fact, this is just the beginning. With new evidence surfacing almost daily and more witnesses stepping forward, the case against Diddy is shaping up to be one of the most explosive legal battles in recent memory. And if you think things have been intense so far, you haven't seen anything yet. Trust us, the next chapter of this story will leave you on the edge of your seat. Stay tuned, because things are about to get even crazier.
Now, to the latest on the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs. This one has so many people talking. The disgraced music mogul facing federal racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking charges. Both the prosecution and defense teams are set to discuss the next phase of action following the indictment as investigators work to determine potential co-conspirators. But how exactly did we get?
The revelations just keep coming, don't they? If you thought things couldn't possibly get darker or more twisted in the Sean Diddy Combs saga, brace yourself, because this is where things take a truly sinister turn. We're no longer just talking about legal battles. This is about connections to some of the most shocking incidents in music history, mysterious ends to high-profile lives, and whispers of betrayal stretching back decades. The deeper you dig into Diddy's world, the more it feels like stepping into a labyrinth of secrets, power plays, and accusations that make even the most seasoned Hollywood scandals seem tame by comparison. Now, let's dive into the part of the story that has everyone's jaws on the floor. Kim Porter, Diddy's former partner, the mother of 3 of his children, and someone who seemed to know him better than anyone else. Her untimely passing in 2018 was officially attributed to health complications. But from the very beginning, rumors have swirled that there's much more to the story. And now, details from her alleged manuscript are starting to surface. And believe me, it's enough to make your head spin.
Right. Well, Kim Porter, that is Diddy's ex, who's also the mother of his 3 of his children.
Right.
Has detailed the alleged abuse that she suffered at his hands. Oh, no. And this is all in a memoir.
According to sources who claim to have had access to this manuscript, Kim didn't just know Diddy's secrets. She was planning to expose them. Reports suggest that she had been working on a tell-all book that could have blown the lid off not only Diddy's personal life, but also his alleged involvement in some of the most controversial moments in hip-hop history. And here's the kicker. Kim reportedly told close friends that if anything ever happened to her, they needed to make sure this book was released. Fast forward to today, and we're hearing whispers that a former associate of Kim's is now in possession of this explosive material. If true, this could be a game changer, not just for Diddy's legal battles, but for his entire legacy.
Person that really put their hands on women really is people who have men who have feminine traits. So, it really takes a coward to put his hands on a woman. So, a man is so strong enough, we can just walk away. You can do, it's so many different things that you can do other than get upset, put your hands on a woman. But that comes from a man who's not quite a grown man.
One of the most chilling claims tied to Kim's manuscript is her suggestion that Diddy might have had knowledge of, or even a hand in, the events that led to the losses of Tupac Shakur and the notorious B.I.G. Think about that for a moment. These two are not just music icons, they're legends, and their untimely deaths remain shrouded in mystery, wrapped in conspiracy theories. Could Diddy, one of the most powerful players in the music industry, have been involved in some way? It's a question that has haunted fans for decades, and now it's being asked louder than ever. Let's rewind to the mid-1990s, the height of the East Coast versus West Coast rivalry that defined an era of hip-hop. Diddy was at the top of his game, running Bad Boy Records and managing stars like Biggie Smalls, while Suge Knight ruled the West Coast with Death Row Records. The tension between these two camps wasn't just professional, it was personal, deep down to the very core. Then, in 1996, Tupac Shakur was gunned down in Las Vegas. Just 6 months later, Biggie's tragic death followed in Los Angeles. Speculation ran wild. Who was responsible? And who stood to gain the most from their deaths?
The whole East-West thing started. We were caught off guard, and that broke my man's heart.
For years, retired law enforcement officials, insiders, and even former gang members have pointed fingers in all directions. But there's one name that consistently comes up in these conversations: Diddy. Retired Los Angeles detective Greg Kading, who led a task force investigating the deaths of Tupac and Biggie, has gone on record with some startling allegations. Kading claims that Diddy offered a large sum of money to have both Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight eliminated. According to Kading, the plan didn't go entirely as intended, but the fallout was devastating nonetheless. And here's where things get even more tangled. Kading's claims align with statements made by Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, a former gang member recently arrested in connection with Tupac's case. Davis has repeatedly implicated Diddy, even going so far as to claim that Diddy promised him a significant payout for his role in the event.
That's the whole truth on the Tupac thing, you know what I'm saying?
And let's not forget Biggie Smalls. While Biggie was Diddy's golden boy, the one who helped put Bad Boy Records on the map, there have always been whispers of tension between the two. Some have suggested that Biggie was planning to leave Bad Boy and start his own label, a move that could have had a massive impact on Diddy's empire. Could this have played a role in what happened next? It's a question that has been asked time and time again, and with the resurfacing of Kim Porter's alleged manuscript, it's now being asked with renewed urgency.
Named Diddy 77 times in court documents related to Tupac's.
But the connections don't stop there. Over the years, a disturbing pattern has emerged. Many individuals who are close to Diddy or had conflicts with him have faced mysterious and tragic ends. Take, for example, L.B. Cher, a close friend of Kim Porter's and someone who has been vocal about his suspicions surrounding her passing. Not long ago, Cher himself faced a life-threatening health scare. While he's since recovered, he's hinted that there's much more to the story than meets the eye. In fact, he's called for an independent investigation into Kim Porter's death, suggesting that powerful forces may have been at play. What makes L.B. Cher's claims even more unsettling is the timeline of events leading up to his health scare. Just weeks before he fell ill, he reportedly began revisiting details about Kim Porter's final days, uncovering what he described as inconsistencies in the official narrative. Cher claimed that Kim had confided in him about feeling watched and even followed in the months before her passing. He also alleged that Kim had shared plans to move forward with a legal battle over property and assets linked to Diddy, which could have threatened his empire. Could these plans have made her a target? While it's impossible to confirm, L.B. Cher has made it clear that he believes Kim's death was no accident.
The only man currently facing charges in the case, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, claims that Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, paid for a hit on Tupac.
Adding more fuel to the fire is the testimony of Courtney Burgess, a former associate of Kim Porter, who has come forward with flash drives he claims contain explosive evidence related to Kim's suspicions about Diddy. According to Burgess, these recordings include conversations in which Kim allegedly expressed fears for her safety, detailing specific incidents where she felt her privacy had been violated. This aligns with earlier claims that Diddy had reportedly wired Kim's home and hired individuals to monitor her movements. Burgess's testimony has already been shared with legal authorities, and while the contents have not been made public, insiders suggest it could be among the most damning evidence to date. Even more chilling is a revelation that Kim had reportedly been working on a contingency plan to protect her children in the event that something happened to her. Friends close to Kim have stated that she quietly arranged for legal guardianship papers to be drawn up, naming individuals outside of Diddy's circle as potential caretakers. This decision raised eyebrows, as it suggested that Kim may have doubted Diddy's ability or willingness to prioritize the well-being of their children without her around. These preparations, combined with her alleged plans to go public with damaging information, paint the picture of someone who may have been bracing for the worst. Then there's Andre Harrell, the legendary music executive who gave Diddy his first big break. Harrell passed away under sudden and unexpected circumstances, leaving many in the industry stunned. While his passing was officially attributed to health issues, some have speculated that his closeness to Diddy and his potential knowledge of shady dealings could have made him a target. And let's not forget Heavy D, another influential figure in the industry who shared a close connection with both Diddy and Kim Porter. His passing, too, has sparked whispers and raised more unsettling questions.
Right now, Davis is fighting for bail ahead of his murder trial, which he has pleaded no.
And just when you think this story couldn't possibly get any more tangled, Jamie Foxx enters the picture. Yes, the beloved actor and musician, who's recently been grappling with his own mysterious health struggles. Jamie and Diddy go way back, with Jamie even hosting some of Diddy's infamous parties at his home. But according to some sources, Jamie may have seen or heard things that put him in a vulnerable position. While Jamie has kept a low profile since his health scare, rumors have swirled that his condition might not have been as straightforward as it seemed. Could there be a connection between Jamie's situation and the web of allegations surrounding Diddy? It's a question that's impossible to ignore, especially given the circumstances. And let's not forget Aaron Carter, the former teen pop star who tragically passed away under circumstances that remained shrouded in mystery. In the months leading up to his passing, Aaron had been outspoken, claiming that he was being targeted and that his life was in danger. While Aaron's connection to Diddy may not be as direct as others, some have suggested that he, too, could have been caught up in this larger, darker narrative.
It's taken countless hours, really decades, of work by the men and women of our homicide section to get to where we are today.
As all of these threads come together, it's becoming increasingly clear that Diddy's current legal troubles are just one piece of a much larger puzzle. The accusations against him aren't just about isolated incidents. They paint the picture of someone who has wielded immense power and influence for decades, often in ways that have left destruction in their wake. From the East Coast-West Coast rivalry to the untimely deaths of those who were once close to him, the stories now coming to light suggest a disturbing pattern of behavior that's as troubling as it is far-reaching.
This case, this is a case that it's going to take some nuance, that's for sure.
And yet, even with all of this swirling around him, Diddy has managed to maintain his innocence, dismissing these allegations as baseless and unfounded. His legal team has worked tirelessly to discredit witnesses, question evidence, and paint the image of a man who is being unfairly targeted. But as more people come forward and more evidence surfaces, it's becoming increasingly difficult to believe that all of this is just a coincidence. The question now is, where does this all lead? Will the truth finally be revealed, or will this story become yet another unsolved mystery in the annals of music history? One thing's for sure, this isn't over, not by a long shot. As more details emerge and more voices speak out, the full scope of what's at stake will become clearer. And for Sean Diddy Combs, the man who once seemed untouchable, the days ahead are looking darker than ever.
Some people do think that Diddy can help him, but this guy's going to be locked up forever. His case will probably take at least 3 years to litigate. He'll stay at MDC. There's rumors that he wants to go to Essex County Jail in New Jersey because he doesn't like MDC. He's a Marshall's inmate. There's no way they're going to transfer him back and forth, I don't know, several times a week.
As the saga of Sean Diddy Combs continues to unfold, the questions surrounding his alleged involvement in some of the most shocking incidents in music history grow ever more pressing. Do you think Diddy's alleged connections to the untimely deaths of Tupac Shakur and the notorious B.I.G. will ever be fully uncovered? And what about the mysterious circumstances surrounding the passing of Kim Porter? Could her alleged manuscript hold the key to exposing Diddy's darkest secrets? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Until next time, stay tuned for more revelations in this explosive story. Goodbye for now.